Hello, this is Megan for BestOfAtlantaConcerts.com, and we're here for this edition of Artist Talk with John Jones in Druid Hills. Thank you so much for being here with us, John.
Thank you.
Um, so we're really excited about your CD release party on February 7th, but before we talk about that, could you describe yourself as a musician for us?
Well, I like to think of myself as a musician who writes about what he feels, and I'm very true to listening to more of listening to what's going on inside of me when I'm writing lyrics and when I'm writing music, and so it's kind of a process, an evolution, as the CD is called. Everything sort of evolves from an idea and from a thought, and then from there I go to the piano, and then it kind of finishes everything else off, and I'm able to, it's like finishing a sentence. Once the idea comes to my mind, then the piano sort of finishes the sentence, and that's how everything is done, in a sense. Um, Definitely, if I had to describe myself with one word, I would describe myself as an evolution, which is why I picked the title for that CD.
I've never heard a songwriting described that way as finishing a sentence, so that's really cool. Um, where do you get the inspiration for the songs that you write?
Most of my songs, some of them do come from past experiences, but a lot of my inspiration comes from a lot of what I see. I'm a person that walks and talks with different people, and different ideas come to my mind from that. And so that's usually where I get most of my inspiration from, is just walking the streets and talking to different people.
That's awesome. So I know you have a career in acting also. Can you tell me about that?
Well, the music was first, but as an extension of music, most artistic people who are dealt in the arts, we have many different, how would you say, realms of um, our practice and of our skills, and so acting is just one more vehicle, one more way of one more craft, one more way of tapping into that arts, I want to say, psyche, or that connection within. So acting is just one more way to express myself, other than music, but because it's more physical with being on stage, involving characters and everything that's involved with theater, with acting. So it's one more way to express yourself, an extension of what I do.
Okay. So how has your acting career influenced your music career or vice versa?
Good question. Okay. Well, I would have to say the acting has helped me as a musician, because in order to be a good actor, one has to be able to go into themselves, really listen to themselves, and really be able to go deep, deep, deep into places that you probably not visible and that you couldn't even think of doing. You have to allow yourself to be a certain vulnerability. And so taking the classes and working with that has helped me a lot with my craft as far as songwriting, because then that openness is there. I know how to get to that place because of acting. And so that has really helped me with the transition with my music. And in the same sense, the music also helps me with the acting, because in the same turn, it kind of does the same thing for me that music does. So one hand kind of washes the other, if that makes any sense. But it's been a very influential thing for me, having the stage and having all that experience, and then being able to translate that into my music.
That's really interesting. That's neat that you do pretty much everything under the arts.
That's why I live in the arts field. There's a lot of people that do what I do. There are a lot of people.
Yeah. So you also teach music sometimes? What made you want to teach?
Well, it's funny because of my 12th grade choral teacher heard this interview, she wouldn't believe that I'd be the one saying this. But I remember the influences that I had when I was in music school. And at first I didn't really care, but once I really got interested, I had a lot of people who really put a lot of time into me in the choral departments as well as different singing competitions and whatnot. People that believed in me more than I believed in myself. And so, and I find that with music, when you teach music, it's this bond, it's a connection that you share with this other person, and it's the whole showing them how to get to something and them not knowing how. And because music isn't something that you can see, it's more of something that you hear, so it tunes into a different part of the brain. It's this connection that's unbelievable that it's just so powerful. It's just music in itself is so powerful because it's something that you can't really explain to people. It's an experience. So for teaching, for me as a teacher, it gives me the opportunity to be able to share that with other people, and on that level, and which really in turn just helps me hone my craft even better. So teaching has even helped me become a better singer and a better actor and everything else. So it's kind of been a very big catalyst for that.
That makes sense. I'm glad there are people like you that want to teach music to other people.